Hello everyone, welcome to the next module. Today we'll be discussing about the elementary operations or transformation of a matrix. Beginning with the very first rule, all of you need to pay attention that the very first rule states that there is an interchange of any two rows or two columns, right? So why are we using and what are these elementary operations? These elementary operations are used basically to find out the inverse of a matrix. We'll just discuss simultaneously what the inverse of a matrix means. But before that, let us discuss these rules. This is applicable for a square matrix, right? The interchange of any two rows or any two columns. Remember, when we are applying these elementary operations, keep in mind that either all the operations must be on rows or they must be on columns. There must not be a combination of column as well as row operation. And the same is followed for rows and the column, the transformations. So the very first one is the interchange of any two rows or any two columns. Now, what does this mean? It's like if we are going with the row transformation, so any row, this is row 1 and any other row, that is row 2, they can be interchanged. They can be replaced by one another. So how do we mention this particular operation? That is R1, R2. This means that we have interchanged the columns of R1 with that of R2. And as a result, we get this as CD. So now R2 becomes R1 and R1 becomes R2. And here we have AB, right? Similarly, if I have C1, if I consider this transformation for columns, so I can interchange column 1 with column 2. So therefore, I have this as BD and this as AC. But remember, if we are carrying on with the row transformations, only row transformation will take place. And if we choose for column transformations, only column transformations will take place. The very second one, that is multiplication of element of any row or column by a non-zero number. It's very important. Non-zero number means any number other than 0. So probably if again I take the same examples, that is I have a matrix ABCD of order 2 and I can apply this transformation. Let's say I'm applying it on row 1. So I can multiply all the elements of row 1 with a constant value. Right? So this is a non-zero value. So R1, I can have this operation, that is R1 is equal to KR1, or if I have it on column 2, so it can be K into C2. So this means I'm applying the operation on column 2. And what is the operation? That I have multiplied all the elements of column 2 with K. Right? So as a result, what do I get? If I take this operation, if I apply this operation, this means I'm multiplying all the elements of row 1 with K. So I get this as KA, this as KB, C and D, this remains the same as it is, right? The third is the addition of the addition to element of any row or column, the corresponding element of any other row or column multiplied by any non-zero number. Now again I take the same example, that is I have a matrix, a 2 by 2 square matrix ABCD. I can apply like R1, an operation on R1, that is R1 plus K R2, right? So this means I'm applying an operation on R1, and what is that operation? That R1, all elements of R1 are added to a scalar multiplier of R2. So what do I get in return? If I'm applying it on row 1, so I have A plus KC, that is the column, that is the element of row 2. So I have this as, since I'm applying it on row 1, elements of row 1, so I have A plus KC, and this is B plus KD, and C and D will remain the same. Similarly, I can apply it for a column transformation also. So the rule does not change, only the columns would change. In any case, I told you initially that we are using these transformations in order to find out the inverse of a matrix, right? So till the end, we are finding out the inverse of a matrix. Remember, we can use any of the 3 transformations, and if I choose a single transformation for a row, I will have all the transformations for row. You cannot use a combination of row and the column transformation. Please remember that, right? I hope all the rules are clear. Okay. Next we come to invertible matrices. Now what are invertible matrices? Let us say A and B are two matrices of the same order such that AB is equal to BA and this is equal to an identity matrix. Usually we have studied for a square matrix AB is not equal to BA. That is, if I apply the tap rule only in square matrix, in the multiplication of any type of matrix, AB is never equal to BA. But if the multiplication of two matrices A and B and their reverse multiplication, that is BA, comes out equal to an identity matrix I, then we say that B is an invertible matrix, right? So B is an invertible matrix, or simply we can say that B matrix is an inverse of matrix A, right? So what I can write? I can write B is equal to A inverse. This is a sign for inverse. So when is this condition possible? When we have two matrices of the same order and AB is equal to BA comes out to be equal to I, right? Then we say that this matrix B or likewise this matrix A is an inverse matrix or an invertible matrix. And in that case, either we can write B is equal to A inverse or A is equal to B inverse, right? Now, since I have told you that AB is equal to BA is equal to I, and we just discussed that B is an inverse of A, right? So if I put this value over here, what do I get? A into A inverse is equal to A inverse into A is equal to I. So this is a very important relationship where we'll be using this particular formula to calculate the inverse of a given matrix. So we have this relation A into A inverse is equal to A inverse into A is equal to I, right? Likewise, if I have, for example, AB inverse, that is multiplication of two, if you have to find out the inverse of the multiplication of two matrices, that is AB inverse, this will be equal to B inverse into A inverse, right? Now, how do we actually calculate the inverse of a matrix, right? So, if any matrix A is given to us, for example, I've taken this as a square matrix 1, 2, 2 and minus 1, right? So, I already know that, identity matrix multiplied by a given matrix gives you the matrix itself, right? So, we have A is equal to IA, or I can also write that I is equal to A into A inverse. I have just derived that, right? So using this particular relation, that is I is equal to A into A inverse, right? And A is equal to IA, what do? I write this as A is equal to I into A, right? So we have A, this is just an example, we'll be working out although. So we are given matrix A. First, we have used the relation that A is equal to IA for the representation of this matrix. So instead of A, I have written this particular matrix. Instead of I have taken the identity matrix of order 2 and this is multiplied with A, right? And now, I will use the second condition, that is I is equal to A inverse A to calculate the inverse of a matrix, right? So, what I'll do is I will try and convert this representation into inverse. How? For this, if I have to combine, remember I have to convert this into an identity matrix and this into an inverse following the transformations, the elementary operations, right? So here I have applied the rule, that is R2. I have applied it on R2. Remember, I have to make it an identity matrix. So I want this element as 1 and this as 0, this as 0 and this as 1, right? So if I have to make this particular element as 0, what do I need to do? If I apply R2, a transformation on R2, what do I get? R2 minus 2R1. So let 1 and 2 be as it is. R2 minus 2R1 will give me 0. R2 minus 2R1 will give me minus 5, right? Likewise, I'll be applying the same transformation over here. So I get this as the result. Again, remember, if I compare it with the identity matrix, this should be 0 and this should be 1. I can make this as 1 if I multiply all the elements of row 2. Remember, no column transformation will be applied here. Reason being, we have already started first with the row transformation. So, R2 is minus 1 by 5 R2. So, we get minus 1 by 5 R2 over here. And this becomes 1. Likewise, we'll be applying here. Now we have to make this as 0. And how can we make this as 0? If I apply it on R1, that is, I make R1, or we can simply say if I apply an operation on R1, that is, R1 is R1 minus 2R2. So what does that make? 2 minus 2, this will become 0. And this is 1 minus 0. This will be 1 as it is. So what are we having here? Remember, we are having this as 1, 0, 0 and 1. And this, on applying the operation, we have right hand side matrix as the given matrix. Now this is equivalent to which expression? I is equal to A inverse into A. A remains as it is, right? The remaining matrix, the resultant matrix that we've got, is known as the inverse of matrix A. So this is how we calculate the inverse, right? Now we start with exercise 3.4. Students will be picking up randomly any 5 questions because they are based upon the same elementary operations which have to be applied according to you, and it needs a lot of practice, right? So we'll be doing the basic concepts. I pick up question number 2, right? The questions that we leave in, like question number 1, 3, 4, must be done by you as practice, right? So we have question number 2, 2, 1, 1 and 1. Remember, the first relation that we will be using is A is equal to IA, right? So A in this case is the given matrix, that is 2, 1, 1 and 1 is equal to I. Now what is I? It's an identity matrix, and let this A be as it is. Now we will be trying and converting it into which particular expression? Remember, I told you we will try and convert this into an identity matrix. This as inverse we'll be taking, and this as A. So I have to convert this matrix A into an identity matrix. So how can I convert it into an identity matrix? Remember, first of all, what do I need to do? I have to look for this element. How can I make this as 1? Let us apply, as we have already seen row transformation, let us try and apply the column transformation over here, right? So how do we apply the column transformation? I apply it on C1, right? So I get C1 minus C2. So C1 minus C2, this is C1, C1 minus C2. So 2 minus 1 gives me 1, 1 minus 1 gives me 0, this is 1 and this is 1, right? Is equal to C1 minus C2 again, so that's 1. This is minus 1, this will remain as it is, and A. Remember, this has to be converted into an identity matrix. So this means I need a 0 over here, right? And how can I get that 0? If I apply it on C2, that is C2 minus C1. So what do I get here? 1 and 0 remains the same. C2 minus C1 will give me 0. And C2 minus C1 will give me a 1 over here. So likewise, 1 and minus 1 as it is. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 1 minus minus 1. So that is 2. So I have converted it into the expression I is equal to A inverse A. So what is A inverse in this case? It's 1 minus 1 minus 1 and 2. This is how we calculate the inverse using transformations, right? You can go through this question step by step, okay, just to understand the operations applied, just to understand the concepts applied, right? Next, we move on to question number 5. Remember, this is again a 2 by 2 matrix, and it is 2, 1, 7 and 4. Remember, we'll be starting with the very first step, that is A is equal to IA, right? So this is 2, 1, 7 and 4. This will be 1, 0, 0 and 1, and this is matrix A itself. Remember, we have to convert it into which particular expression? A is equal to A inverse A. This means this matrix has to be converted into an identity matrix. So how can we actually convert it into an identity matrix? Remember, Again, I apply a column transformation, that is C1. I have to make this element as 1. So step by step we can just have a hint. Like if I have to make the very first element as 1, how can I make it as 1, right? So we'll be doing that. So we can apply it on C1, that is C1 is C1 minus C2. So this becomes C1 minus C2 is 1. This becomes 3, this becomes 1, and this becomes 4. C1 minus C2 minus 1, 0 and 1, and this is A, right? Now how can we make the next element as, how can we make this as 0? I can apply simply C2 is C2 minus C1, right? So I have this as C2 minus C1, so that's 1. This becomes 0, this becomes 3, and that becomes 1 again, right? And this is C2 1, and this is minus 1, this is minus 1, and this is 2, and this is A as it is, right? Next is I have to make this particular element using column transformation as 0. So what I can apply? I can apply C1 is C1 minus 3C3, remember, right? The third property. So I can write this as C1 is C1 minus 3C3. So if I apply it over here, remember what am I getting? I have 1, 0, 3 and 1. Previous step I'm writing 1, minus 1, minus 1, 2, and this is A. So we have C1 minus 3, C3. So we have 1, 0, 0 and 1, and this is C1 minus 3, C3. So we have 1 minus 3. So this becomes 4. C1 minus C3, that is 1 minus 1 minus 6. So that is minus 7. This is minus 1 and this is 2 and this is A. So this is identity matrix. This will be inverse. So what is inverse using transformations? It's 4 minus 7 minus 1 and 2. Right? I hope it's clear to you students. You can use any way, but your resultant, your result, your final answer must be the same. Right? So you can use any of the other transformation which you feel is more comfortable to you. Right? So you can use that. Coming to the next question, question number 9. We have 3, 10, 2 and 7. Right? We will try and use the row transformation over here. So I can write A is equal to IA, the very first step. Okay, so I have to convert it into, just write down, this is 1, 0, 0 and 1, and this is A. I have to convert it into I is equal to A inverse A. So this matrix has to be converted into an identity matrix. And how can we do that? Let us apply the row transformation over here. So if I apply the row transformation, my very first element, that is A11, must be 1, and that is R1 is R1 minus R2. So how is that? This is 1, this is 3, this is 2 and this is 7. So we have 1 minus 1, 0 and 1, and this is A. Right? Next, we have to make it as 0. Okay, let's not go with this that we have to make it 0 because it's going to get a little complicated over here. So we will try and make this particular element as 0. That is R2 is R2 minus 2R1. Right? So it will be 1 and 3 as it is. This minus 2 will become 0. And this minus 2R1, that is 7 minus 6, will become 1. So that's 1 and minus 1. 0 minus 2 minus 2. 1 plus 2. This will become 3. And this is A. Right? Again, we have to make it as 0. So simply R1 is R1 minus 3R2. So this is 1. Because 1 minus 3 into 0 is 1. Then we have 3 minus 3 is 0. This is 0 and this is 1. Likewise, 1 minus 6. So that is 7. Likewise, we have minus 1, minus 9, that's minus 10, minus 2 and 3 as it is. and A. So we have converted into I is equal to A inverse A, or simply we can say A inverse is equal to 7 minus 2 minus 10 and 3. I hope it's very much clear to you students. It's like very interesting, right? So until we solve the further questions, please do all the questions related to inverse that are of a 2 by 2 square matrix, right? In the next module, we'll discuss about how to calculate inverse in case of a 3 by 3 square matrix. Thank you.